There you go. Hey, welcome to Down and Dirty Badger State Tractor Bros. Usually John does this, so unless you want to do it, Stacy, right? Or
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Welcome to Down and Dirty. Monday must be like the 8th or 9th right now. June. We're going to recap later on the show. We're going to recap our benefit deal up at Baraboo, but for now we have Roger and Waylon Bauman going to talk about Mackville in Seymour, right? And how things are going to happen there and how things are going. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Real good.
Good. Seymour, you're all ready to go up there and everything's going to be pretty much the same thing then, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be, it's our classes and such, and it's, got a bigger bandstand. We got, it's definitely different. It's a different location, different setting, but it's going to work out pretty well, I think. I feel pretty good about it. It's there were some things that would have been nicer at Mackville, and then there's things, as far as the grandstand and such there's a lot more blacktop, a lot more parking for all the spectators, a lot nicer in that part, and that's part of it. So I plenty of room for the pits. So no, it's just more area that's got blacktop and such like that, where we have it's a little nicer for getting around and handicap and all this. It's just they're just better. It's a fairgrounds. You all know they've been fairgrounds, so it's gonna be pretty good, real good.
So Seymour's only a few minutes from where Mackville usually is, right?
Yeah, it depends how fast you drive, but anywhere from 15 to 18 minutes difference, just north the ways, and it's getting there. There's a couple different ways of getting there from off the highway, off of 41, Interstate 41. I mean, you can still go through Mackville, but it's got the back roads. You might take a couple more back roads. It's 41 and up to Highway 55 up in Gokana, and then that's a kind of a straight shot. You're on the highway a little longer, and it's I don't everything's got GPSs, and I know all that, and but it's more of a straight shot. You just go through one little town of Freedom, and it's straight shot all the way to Seymour. So it's on Highway 55. You try to check it out, but it's pretty. It's the closest thing we got, and it's going to work out well.
Good. You still going to have the band and the beer tent and all that stuff like you usually do, or?
Oh yeah, yep. Still got the beer tent. It's actually the band's playing in a building, which is it's going to work out well. This week can be a little cooler and stuff. It's just kind of a little more climate control that way, and it's just behind the grandstands. There's just a building, they've had bands in there before, and it works out pretty well. And we have a beer tent, and the food and everything will be there, all the same, pretty much. Pretty much the same band. Well, Friday night's a different band that we've had before, but Saturday night's the same Ask Your Mother band, and they do really draw a pretty good crowd for them, and should be good. The pulling's done, we'll hang out, and so it should be good.
So good. Waylon, are you going to have the RC tractors there and all that stuff again?
We won't this year. Maybe in the future we'll bring that back. We're not going to have it for this year, but
okay. Busy with the move and trying to get everything done, I'm sure, right? It's a lot of work to move to a different location, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Yep, it's pretty much all day today, loading up bleachers and bringing stuff up there for the infield that they don't have. Never had an infield seating like this, and so yeah, it's gonna be. It's been the whole thing's been a little challenge with the setting up the new corporation and everything else, and just getting. Fortunately, they really want us up there. They want us at the fairgrounds. That's been a really big plus. They want to see us to bring in more people that never been to the fair before. 2 weeks later, we actually had the Allegheny County Fair right at there, and so they're hoping they'll get some new people that never been to the fairgrounds, and they also have Friday night racing every Friday, stock car racing on the dirt track. So they hope them people are as well. Looking forward to seeing new faces in the grandstands, and hopefully it's a win-win for everybody up there. The city of Seymour, the mayor, talked to her. They're all real excited about us coming to town with this event, and so it's been really, really good. I mean, that took a lot of the pressure, or we want to say, or just they want us there, so it's a good thing.
Good. Are they letting you work the track a little bit like you need to for tractor pulling? Because sometimes them race car guys get a little funky about that, right?
Right. Well, yeah, the track is actually inside the. It's not part of the oval. It's actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all flat. It's not. You're not gonna be working off a bank or anything like that. So it's inside the track. So it should work out well. We've pulled there. The county fairs the last 3 years on that track, I believe it was, since they put in that new track, 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
So it's a little different with the bleachers on the inside. There's little obstacles that we have to work around this time, but it'll be okay. It'll be good.
Okay, that'd be cool. And you've got everybody staying. You got a block of rooms like at casino. Which casino is it?
The Oneida. Yeah.
And that's how far from the track?
It's like 18 minutes as well. It's
Okay,
Green Bay. It's just going the other way from not going to Appleton or heading east to Green Bay. So it's 18 minutes off Highway 54, straight shot right to Green Bay, and that's where the casino is. So yeah, you guys can stay up all night and gamble or whatever you got to do and party or whatever. I don't think I don't know they'll close it or whatever, but
right.
Hope that works out. Took advantage.
I'm looking forward to hanging out up there and pulling and all that. But it should be fun. We got some different classes we haven't had up there for a while, and and stuff. Did we lose Stacy? Ryan? Must have. Yep. I don't see him on there. Do you?
Oh no.
Nope. So, you've got what else you got going on up there for the weekend? The bands, like always, and you have the paddles there to buy the beer in the beer tent. That's always fun for everybody to go in there after that.
We're seeing about. We're not sure about the paddle wheel. We're kicking it back. We're bringing it along. Put it that way. We've got a couple of area events got in trouble having a paddle wheel. This happened in the last couple of weeks at a fireman's get together deal, and they got shut down on that. So I can't guarantee that, but we are bringing it along and see how things are going. And as far as the paddle wheel, but yeah, we are starting out Thursday night with the farm. The local farm tractors or hot farm tractors, you call them, and the super stock trucks, diesel trucks, and that just to break open the weekend on Thursday night, and then into the Friday and Saturday, you guys and PPL. So
PPL, and that'll be fun. What you want to go over all the classes you're going to have there? I think Waylon's probably got it memorized by now, right?
Yeah, you should have.
See how I do under pressure, but we have the PPL Pro Modified four-wheel drive trucks, the PPL Light Pro stocks, the Silver Series, and the Championship Tour Super Farms, and then there's one more.
Heavy Super.
And then the Heavy Super stocks as well. So that'll be good,
4 classes, yeah.
And then your better state classes too. Then, but
the 4x4 diesel trucks and 2-wheel drive trucks and light limiteds for sure, right?
Yep.
Am I missing one? Just off the top of my head, I should be more organized.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think we did good. We did well. The mini rods, we talked. Them guys aren't getting their parts. We wouldn't have had many of them, so we kind of switched it to light limiteds, right? Yep. Because the parts world is very tough right now for the automotive stuff, for high performance stuff. It's tough for any kind of parts.
Right.
I know quite a few guys didn't make it Saturday night because they're waiting on stuff. So, but they'll get it at the end of the year. Yep, there, Stacy's back. There you
So
go.
hey, Roger. So is the fairgrounds up there? Is it like 20 miles straight north of Mackville, pretty much?
Pretty much, yeah. Not even quite 20, 18, whatever. Yeah, pretty much
Okay.
straight up. Northeast.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I heard Greg ask some of the questions while I was waiting backstage there. You're pretty much trying to take the whole Mackville experience and just move it 18 miles up the road. Am I kind of right on that?
Oh, absolutely. Right. We still have the Dash for Cash. It's still a family oriented, it's all based around the family and a lot of fun. And yeah, for sure. It's, they want to switch it up. I mean, the crowds we get and stuff, we're hoping that it continues. They just have to drive a little further and yeah, we want the same kind of reaction, same kind of show.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions. Are you going to be doing the Dash for Cash there?
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. Because I didn't know, it's obviously a fairgrounds and it's a racetrack at the fairgrounds, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And I heard you tell Greg that you guys got a permanent pulling track laid out inside the racetrack itself down on the infield, correct?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. It's not like it's right, the track is right on the side of it and yeah, it's not like it's a whole nother track. It is a separate track, but it's, the oval is, it's on the side of it. So it's not like it's going to be that far away for the grandstands or anything like that. That's like in the center of the infield or something like that. It's
yeah. So it's right next to the apron. It's right next to the apron of the oval track itself. Then.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. And that dirt's been there for a few years now. It sounds like
you
guys have been pulling on it for the last few
years.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not just a brand new this year or anything like that. It's been there. Yep. So got a couple winters on it anyways that it settled in and stuff like that. So
good. And I've never been to the Outagamie Fairgrounds myself. How big's the oval track for the stock car racing or the racing they do?
That's a 3rd mile.
Okay, so you guys got a track laid inside that, so you've got a good you guys have got a good 350 feet of pulling area in there then.
That's what we do. Yep, it's going from corner to corner pretty quick though. I mean, pretty close. It's from corner 1 to corner 4 inside of that, and it'll be with the shutdown area and stuff like that, and it'll be used that front straightaway for sure.
Okay,
it's inside. Yep.
So that answers that question. So the direction of pull is from turn 1 towards turn 4 then.
We'll be actually pulling into the west.
Okay. Has that just always been that way, or is that something you're trying different?
It is different because it's because of the people of the access to get people into the infield. We did more early on that it's at actually when you enter the track on the races, when they race, they enter from the corner 4 to get onto the track and they leave at corner 2. But and that's normally for the cars, but that's really the access for people as well to get from the normal grandstand or from the grandstand side. That's really where we're going to have to funnel people in, and we didn't want that right at the start. As a matter of fact, there's not a real good area at the starting line to do that, to funnel people across. Normally they don't have people in the infield when they're racing the cars. They have some seating on the back stretch, and then they have the grandstand. So there's never really people in the infield at all. And so that's
will the pullers pit in the infield, or will they pit outside of the infield?
Outside. You're outside. Yeah, there's not enough room for bringing semis and all that in there. Even when we do our farm pull on a Wednesday night during the fair, there's no trucks going. It's all filled with tractors and stuff. And so, it's all, they have really nice pits. I mean, there's plenty of room for pitting. And we'd be bringing the pullman or whatever you're going to do. And then hopefully I want to stage everybody before the pull, that we have all the classes staged on the turn 1 and 2. And then after they have the pull, then you get escorted back out the way you came in, actually.
Yeah, that's actually something that'll be nice. That'll be and I want to say a departure or an improvement from the church is having plenty of staging area. You can stage all them classes all the way around the racetrack for the most part.
Yes, you could. Yes, I'm thinking between 1 and 2 should be enough to get the whole works in there. Yeah.
That'll be nice. That'll be nice. And we're running 2 tracks, obviously.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Whose sleds have we got for up there?
Double J and then Baumgart.
Okay, X Factor's bringing one up. Okay.
Yep.
Sure, that right.
And for myself, where's your announcer stand at?
Well, it's got a nice booth up in the grandstands. There's a booth right up on top of the grandstands. It's 30 rows up. Unless you want to do something different, that's kind of what you got you there.
Yeah. Well, personally, and since it's going to be me, a fifth wheel trailer on the infield, it works fine for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I like to be by the action. When you stick me up in a booth up at the top of the grandstand, I feel so far removed from what's going on.
Well, we have remote mics, so we can put you. You want to be on the flagman stand, or we put you down on the track. We have remote mics. Training the girls to be taking the scores and all that.
Yeah, I tell you, for me, a fifth wheel trailer on the infield next to the track, that'd be perfect. I'd prefer that.
Okay.
But we do have some help lined up for you, Stacy. I don't know if you know, we did, because we knew John wasn't going to be there, but Roger does have a guy to help you.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yep.
He'd probably like to be down on the infield
help
too. He'd probably like to be down on the infield too, because a lot of times,
sure.
a lot of times when you're announcing, you gather a lot of information just from people walking by. When you're right there.
We can do it pretty easy. Is put you on.
From.
We could put a trailer on the track. On the track, it's on the oval track, just next to the track as well. You'd be on the grandstand side. I think we could do that.
Between the track and the crowd?
Yeah, as long as we're not blocking people there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll look at that.
Yeah, for me personally, and it's your guys' deal. You got to do what you got to do up there. But I'd like to see a fifth wheel trailer on the infield side, on the infield side of the track, next to the track, and then a guy's looking up at the grandstand also, instead of having them behind your back.
I got you. Sure.
Yeah, but that's. I don't know if you guys have been to Beaver Dam, I'm sure, correct?
It's been a long time for me.
Okay, well, it's kind of like the setup they got there. That's the way they run that one, and it works quite well. So anyway, I don't want to be too picky. You guys got enough work packing up and moving the show all the way up the road. That brings me to another question. When did you guys know that we weren't going back to the church?
Those are that long. We did the last time we did this podcast. Remember that we were talking about the shop, I still didn't know for sure. We were working on this whole thing, but I didn't know for sure where we were not going to be. So it's only been about 2 months. Last 8 weeks when they finally said no matter what I do as far as insurance, they were not going to allow us to have it at the diocese or at the parish anymore. So it's pretty much just last 8 weeks, 8 weeks that we put this thing together and all everything, insurances and everything all lined up but it's come along good. Had some good people to work with.
Yeah,
I think it was well into April and it finally was official that we were moving, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because it did come in fairly late, I guess, as far as scheduling and everything that stuff goes. But I guess you guys didn't. You guys, your hands were tied. You didn't know that. But it sounds like you got the full support of the city behind you and all that good stuff. It's always nice to be wanted. That's for sure.
Right.
Yep.
And the parishioners from our church are supporting it big time. They're up there right now getting stuff set up for the food and all that. So that was key too. We had to have support from the parish too. Not from our own local parish that wasn't just going to shove this through. That's what I wanted to do, or Whale and I would just. It's our thing to do, but no, I had to have the full support, and people have been there and really helping us get all stuff set up, and you're going to be there. They're all signed up for their shifts and all that kind of stuff. So it's been good.
Yeah, because you guys had a small army of people down there at the church all the time putting that pole on, And
Oh yeah, it takes a lot of people. You all
yeah,
know.
yeah, and it's great that they're all coming up the road with you to help make this thing go up there. I know packing up and moving like that's got to be just a Herculean task, especially on such short notice. Um, are
Right.
all your sponsors coming along with you from down at the church and everybody?
Oh yeah.
All our support we've had.
Yes, they are. We actually made 9 new sponsors that just out of the blue just called up and said they want to be part of this thing, and which is huge to see that kind of. So hopefully the word's out and they're feeling good. Maybe it's a little bit more that's at a location that's a little more open, or I don't want to say, I don't even say it, just a little more go. That's without having to go begging people. That's good feeling to get new sponsorships coming in and that kind of deal.
That's great. That's great.
Good. Well, that was going to be one of my questions. If everybody in the church still supported moving it, you kept all the help, and they were all ready to move on and do whatever it takes to get it done, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, we're very fortunate for that. That was
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah. That brings me to another question, Roger. The church is still going to be the beneficiary of this event. Am I correct on that?
That is, yeah, you're correct. Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Yep. Hopefully it works as well as it did in Mackville every year. I think it will, right?
I think so too. Once the word is out, we've been advertised on the radios, and TV. A month ago, when we really knew what was happening, we've already put a week out of advertising. Now this whole last week, there's 10 radio stations, 10, 11 here. They're going to do an interview Friday morning as well on Channel 11. They do like 5 different little section or segments on a news on the morning. A Good Morning Wisconsin, whatever it's called. And so they'll be on TV in the morning, and a lot of people really watch that Channel 11 up here. It's for like the morning show and stuff like that. It's a good local show.
And you've got you hired full promotions to help, Jason Schultz and Chase Richardson to help you with promoting it too. I mean, they do a great job too with what they do. So yeah, that's a good. They it's all over everything I see, from them guys. So
Good.
Yep, that's all good. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll take all we can get.
Right. Now, Roger, you guys moving this up there like that, have you guys put together, like, say, a 3-year commitment in case, sometimes things takes a little bit to get traction, and gain momentum. Are you guys looking at, one and done if it doesn't go over big, or are you guys saying 3 years no matter what, or what are you thinking?
Oh yeah, I don't think it would be one and done. I mean, it's the weather that's really going to affect us. I could see that if anything, but no, we would. No, it's in our blood pretty deep here. We're going to keep going, and unless we don't have support, and for some reason everybody else decides, and then what? Then there's other organizations. If it comes down to that, if our church doesn't want to support it for some reason, there's other organizations in the city of Seymour, or that we could definitely, I'm sure, would be willing to want to get their cut of the pie as well. If they worked at certain stands or something like that, we could, this would be open this up to more than. We actually changed the name because the parish or the diocese didn't want St. Edward's name in it anymore, just because of the whole liability deal. So we actually changed the name to pulling for the community instead of pulling for the parish. Just to kind of satisfy them that we're not, even though the money's still going to the parish. It's just they didn't want to broadcast it as the big church function kind of thing as much, but they'll take the money.
And that's and that's great, because that's what people like to hear. They like to hear that we're committed for the long haul. We're going to make this thing go. And like I say, sometimes it takes a little bit at the beginning when you do such a major change like this. But with the commitment, it sounds like you got a lot of support from the townsfolk up there, which is going to be just huge, making your event successful. You can't beat having a lot of help behind you and support.
Yep. Betcha. Yeah, there's a lot more business. Mackville there wasn't a whole lot in Mackville that we're drawing from, local people as far as businesses or anything like that. But here, there's a lot of stuff going on up in Seymour, and so yeah, and Green Bay, and Pulaski, the little towns that we're actually closer to now. As Mackville it was, just 3 miles out in Appleton. Now we're drawing from more rural businesses and stuff. Appleton, but it's just a little different. And Green Bay, and it's good. It's a little more centrally located.
What's the population of Seymour up there?
Sure. I don't know if it's like 5,000 or something like that. It might be. I don't even I should know that, but I don't. I should
Okay.
look that up. That's a good question.
But it's the county seat of Outagamie County, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Isn't that the home of the hamburger where they made the first hamburger or something?
That's what they say. Yeah, they still do a party for that, I guess. And yeah.
Is there another town somewhere else that claims it too, or whatever? I don't know, but
Yeah, I believe there is out east or something like that. I believe there is, but yeah.
So what I'm hearing is you're probably never going to go back to Mackville the way it looks, or what are you thinking?
I would probably bet money on that. Yes, it won't go back. I don't see it.
Okay.
The diocese, this insurance and stuff or the lawyers and insurance and all that stuff that's going on. The diocese don't want to be involved with all this kind of stuff. There's risk and there's it's not their forte, I guess, that they want to see part of the diocese, part of the what we got going on. So
Right.
now it's just, and it was getting tough. Let me be honest with you. The parking around there was just getting tough, and this really opens up for spectators just a lot nicer facility for the grandstands, the parking, everything else. Yeah, there's good hiccups this first year, and get things. So we can do this, we'll have to get set up and run it through. We have a little bottleneck here or there. Yeah, that's all stuff that we had that same problem at Mackville, but every year we kind of improved. Unfortunately, we could do that over 49 years. But so going to some whole new event here, a new location, it's good. There's definitely gonna be issues. I know there's be pretty lucky if we didn't have any kind of issue, but and just make improvements, I should say.
Roger. Yeah, this is the 50th year of the Mackville Nationals. Am I correct?
Oh, it's actually our 49th. It would have been 50 if we didn't have to skip that COVID year.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
So it is actually our 49th annual, but it would have been 50. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, because I tradition's a big thing, and the Mackville Nationals, they're a legacy poll in my eyes because they've been around so long. Everybody knows what the Mackville Nationals are, and I applaud you guys for not just throwing in the towel and walking away from it when the diocese said no more at the church. I really applaud you guys for taking the effort and moving it up the road a little bit and actually hope going to improve upon the whole thing. I think that's just an amazing task and undertaking that you guys have done, and my hats are off to you for it, because I've been around this stuff a long time. Sometimes it's pretty easy just to say enough. I've had it. I've done enough of it, So the Mackville Nationals are lucky to have you guys spearheading and making this thing happen.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's not just the church. It's so much the whole.
You worked really hard to try to keep it in Mackville too. It wasn't just like they said no and you went with it, but you made your case. You campaigned your case to keep it there, right?
Oh yeah, Tried to work with the insurance company, try to get a third party in there to so that the diocese wouldn't be the first. They'll always be out there, but try to whatever way we can try to just satisfy them with another policy that we pay for, that our parish would pay for, and such, and come to the event. And yeah, I probably could have pulled the plug on this a lot quicker. And just then he told me in January, is actually when they found out middle of January is when they finally brought me in for the announcement that they can't have it. And it took me, I was mucking around for 2 months trying to get this, try to keep it there, because it is something that after that long, just walk away. And so it was, And that now you look back and I wasted a couple months there, and now but we made it happen. So it's good.
It's happening.
It's happening. Yep.
It's happening. Well, that's good. That's good. Well, I know you guys got to get going back to working on the track there, Roger. You said, yeah, got to cut you short a little bit or whatever. But if you got anything else you want to tell what's going on, for sure, let us know, all right?
Oh, absolutely. I just, hopefully the people are out there and it's come on down and the poll is canceled. We'll have the bands, if something happens with the polls. I really shouldn't say that word, but canceled. But, we still have the bands at night for anybody to come on down and enjoy. And we got to get that wheel spinning again too to make up for the on the paddle wheel or whatever. So we'll, that's all I can say is, hopefully the word gets out and people come on out and they're looking for good fun.
Roger, have you guys got any one or two major sponsors, or is it just the whole bunch of everybody getting in on it?
Oh yeah, Jody Noble, sewer excavating, he's a big one. Trico, Bill Radsack, he's another big one.
Okay.
Bush Light, and then Ball Machine, we sponsor too. But our four biggest ones. And so yeah, there's a whole slew of there's 30 some sponsors, 34 sponsors, something like that. So all good.
That'll give me something to talk about.
Yeah, they're all very good sponsors.
Good deal.
Yep.
Well, myself, I'm very much looking forward to the inaugural event up there at the Outagamie County Fairgrounds, and looking forward to being in on the ground floor of growing this event to bigger and better heights that's coming up down the road. Should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect. Yep. Good. Let's do.
I myself have pulled there like 30 years ago. Quite a while ago. Yep. But
what you have, the 560 or the 806?
No, that was still Thunder Clutch. It was Thunder Clutch. Yep. A long time ago.
Yeah. The tractor's been around for a long time. That's good.
Yep. That was on the racetrack back then yet. So
yeah. Oh yeah. For sure.
Yep. So, well.
Okay. All right,
Roger,
guys.
Thanks for coming on and updating us on everything. And like I said, if you need us to get anything out there for you, let us know and we'll do what we can.
Will do. Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Roger.
See you this weekend, guys.
Yeah, see you later, Wheelan.
Yep. See you guys.
Bye. I see we got John on here. You're back. Are you on there, John?
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. I see you down in the corner there. Ryan, we've got some videos from Saturday night, correct? Or what do you think? Is Ryan there? Well, why don't you guys start talking about Saturday night a little bit? What do you think of everything there? The track and all the people. And I don't know if it's our biggest crowd yet. I think our biggest crowd is probably the year after COVID. But this would be the second biggest crowd, I'm pretty sure.
I would say.
Right? Yeah, the food, I mean, we always get the same amount of food, or we up it every year a little bit, and we ran out this year. So, we had some people there.
Ross is a little disappointed. Running ice cream.
Ran out of ice. Well, I seen him all night long eating ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it isn't like he didn't get any.
Yeah. That was an awesome night of pulling. A lot of good classes, a lot of good hooks. How about that Calcutta auction? $61,500 going into the kitty. The record amount again. We pushed that up again. It's unbelievable.
It's going to be, tough. It'll be tough. I always think it's going to be tough to top it. Every year. I mean, we're never going to beat that again. We're never. And then the next year you come out and it's bigger.
Yeah. Well, and somebody made the comment about that, and I said, well, we had 14 tractors in that class. We had a lot of inventory to sell, so you can run the numbers up pretty good when you got a lot of inventory. But 14 top dog pro stocks showing up for a benefit pull, that to me in itself is amazing, especially when over half of them guys are going to Farley next weekend for the big money pull. To think they'd come up there and make a charity hook and risk burning it down, because it didn't look like any of them guys dialed them back at all for for Baraboo by any means.
I think everybody tuned them up to make sure they would take what they want to do in Farley.
I'm thinking right. I'm thinking you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think you're right.
And I don't think in that class there was only a couple of them that had problems, you know, and nothing major that I seen.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so that was good. But all the classes were good, you know, really. I didn't get to watch as many of them I'd like to, you know, because we were pretty busy there. But everything I heard, it was good. Everybody was happy with the track and how it went. And
yeah.
Right.
And I tell you that the last class of the night there, the light pros, you know, we only had 5 of them, but boy, them guys, they put on a show. They really smoked down through there. Them guys,
they did.
They were on it.
Yeah.
They were on it, right? Yeah. Yeah. Them things they're fun to watch. That's the limited pro class. Them guys were giving her the berries too, you know, because a bunch of them guys are going to do Farley too, you know, so they were all pushing them as hard as they could to see what it would work. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a very interesting night too. You know, a lot of them guys' first hook of the year and everything too. And most everything went down the track, you know, pretty well. You know, not a lot of new tractor bugs or anything like that. Everything worked pretty well.
Nope.
The boys did a good job building the track. I think the track caught a few of them guys by surprise in the first class or two there.
Yeah.
They're trying to run their proud gear and it wasn't going to work.
Right. Yeah. You can't run that proud gear on a good track, you know, and it was the one thing I thought was neat that night was Jared Fredericks going down the track with his new aluminum block. I thought it worked, you know, so that was neat watching. It sounded good.
Yeah.
You know, that was neat to watch and see him show up.
Something else that was pretty awesome too was that 2-wheel drive truck class in the Deppy family with Heavy Hearts with Kevin Schell, and to sneak the win out and to go over there with the camera and the interview them guys over there. I don't think the eyes were very dry at all when they got done. They all had tears in their eyes when they were walking away, and kudos to Tim Deppy, man. He spoke with me there, and you could tell he was choked up, and it was it was good. It was good for them. They needed that.
Yeah, and in that 2-wheel drive class, the guy that they nosed out, you know, Chad Haggerty with the Hillbilly Hot Rod, you know, he was up to Sauk the week before, and his darn throttle linkage fell off, you know, and he just kind of felt bad for him. And he's a pretty good guy. He's got a fairly good presence on Facebook and does videos and stuff and tells you what's going on and everything. And for him to come back from the week before his disappointment there at Sauk and lay down a stellar pass to hold the lead right up until the end, and just get nicked out by a whisker too. I felt pretty good for him also.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He's a good puller.
Yes.
It's fun to watch him. He's a quiet guy, you know, but you like watching him do his thing and does good work.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a super great guy. Yeah. Glad to have him around this year. Beautiful piece, good running truck, and all around great guy. So glad he's running the Badger State circuit with us this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it looks like the Zen boys are picking right up where they left off from last year in their championship season. And Steve's 2 for 2 with the Oliver, isn't he?
2 for 2 with the Oliver and 2 for 2 with the White. You know, 1 and 2, two events in, and I think them guys the last few years have really done their homework, and they really worked hard at getting those things to really run clean. And they're consistent. They're true
very
grit
much
pullers.
so.
They're very consistent.
They were quizzing me after the polls over about what the track's going to be like up at Seymour, and I said, I don't know, I've never seen it before. They're like, okay. Yeah. But I told him Roger's in charge of it. And I said, you know, Roger knows what he's doing up there. I said, I'm sure it'll be a good track. You can bet on that. So.
Yep. Oh, you know they will. They're going to do what they can. They're going to do the best they can. You know, let's hope there's no rain.
Yeah.
You know, that's the big thing. You know, and it sounds like Roger said in the forecast they didn't have a huge chance for rain there, right?
It's just going to be. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. It sounds like not too blazing hot.
Right, 65 degrees.
Yeah, it's going to be.
What other classes? Yeah. Super Farm. Who ended up winning that? Was that? What?
Chuck Ginterberg out of Rio, positive ground.
Yeah,
Oh,
Chuck
he did
Gunterberg.
it with it.
Yeah, the Badger State guys were the ones that run the tour. Were looking pretty good at Baraboo there. I think them boys are ready for all them guys to come on up to Seymour for the inaugural Champions Tour event up there as they kick off that season for the Super Farms.
Well, it'll be neat to see them, because you don't get, we have our super farms here, but we don't get to see, other than if you go to Hillsboro, is the only place you might see the Champions Tour guys in super farm, right?
Yeah, well, we're gonna see them up this way at three different events now. Actually, they're gonna have 5 hooks up this way. 2 this weekend up in Seymour, 1 in Freeport, and 2 in Hillsboro. So, so these guys get to kind of hang for our Badger State regulars, that run the tour. They're kind of liking getting to hang around home a little bit and have them guys come on up and play with them a little bit.
Right. It's fun to watch them guys. It's fun to see different things, and you want to see your local and our guys that pull Badger State and don't do the Champions Tour to see them compete against them, and sometimes they do pretty good.
Oh yeah. That's they always say you're only as good as your competition, and that's why them guys do so good out on the tour, because when they're running around home pulling against the Badger State regulars all the time, and it's no cakewalk. I mean, them guys are as good as they are.
Right. Yep. There's any one of them can win. Mike Jelly put his tractor together that morning and had to be talked into coming up. And the thing ran. It ran good. Went down the track. Did all right. Right?
Yeah.
It was fun. Yep. It was neat. He told me he cut his own pistons.
Huh.
That day he did it. He didn't do it himself, but he took it to a machine shop and he told them what he wanted done with them, and he did it, and it ran. So that's
pretty good.
That's a feather in your hat to do that yourself, right?
Well, yeah. Especially if you're trying to get them from somebody else and they keep pushing you off and you can't get them. So, well, I'll do it myself then.
That's what he did. He was hoping to get them from somebody else. Yeah. Yep. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah,
right?
It is. Huh.
Yeah. Yep. So
sure, he's got connections, some pretty talented people, or a lot of talented people not far away from him.
Right. Well, Mike Everson lives 5 minutes from him.
Yeah.
And he's got a machine shop, and then he's got what's their name to Monroe? He's almost to Monroe, so what's a machine shop down there that does all that too? I don't know who did it, but he said it was his design in him.
Huh. Yeah, could have been T&B's down there.
Right.
Or that machine shop in Apple Valley that they use too for some stuff too, Stacy.
Oh yeah, yep.
Well, isn't Faith Machine down there too? They used to sponsor Badger State. Faith Machine did.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, they're right up by Hawthorne's place there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite part about the benefit poll?
I think my favorite part of the benefit poll is seeing the family there, and hearing successful stories about what goes on with the Children's Hospital and how much that Badger State does that really affects families there in a positive way. So, all the effort that goes in with everybody involved and, all extra stuff, Greg, that everybody does behind the scenes is not left unnoticed. And I think that's great. And that's the coolest part, is seeing a family that is successful. And knowing that too, there's another family I know too, that their daughter had cancer, stage 4 blastoma, that was at UW Hospital, and she's doing well. I just seen stuff on Facebook today and smiles and things going on. So just kind of makes you feel good inside for, all the efforts that's done with the poll and behind the scenes that we do make a difference. It's a small piece to the puzzle, but it's a valuable piece. And I think that's something to be proud of.
It was, yeah. How about, that I agree with you, John. See them cute kids out there all the time, and you just want to, you want to do whatever you can for them, right? That kills me every time. It does.
And Joel singing the national anthem, not only, it's like Hillsboro, not only you hear it coming over loudspeakers, but her standing right next to me and hearing that in my ear too is like, holy man, she can sing.
Who was that?
Amy Jo Ladwig sang the national
Oh yeah,
anthem.
yep.
She does a wonderful job of that.
She does. Yep. How about you, Stacy?
Well, I got to echo John's part there on the family, because the pulling itself, the pulling's great, is good pulling. We see pulling all the time, but when they bring the family out there and they tell that story and they had the video up there, sometimes you think you got yourself a bad lot, and then you see something like that, and you know what, I've got it. God's treated me pretty good, and but the thing about that is, after you watch that and listen to that story, and then to take a microphone and try to talk in it, pretty tough. It's tough. I about lost it there Saturday night, but we had to roll into Calcutta, and Calcutta was a fun part for me. That's the generosity scene going on there, as people are throwing money out there to buy them tractors up. And I don't know if anybody's ever kept their winning share of the Calcutta. I can't. If somebody ever did, I sure can't remember. It's been donated back every time that I can recall.
Yep. That to me, that the family thing is obviously always the thing everybody loves, but next to that, to me, is the people bidding on the Calcutta tractors and dealing with them, and they're so happy to do it and give through us to the Children's Hospital, because just so everybody knows, when they write a check for a tractor, they write that check right to the Children's Hospital. There's nothing in between.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident all the people that are bidding on them tractors have no intention of keeping that winner's half of that Calcutta. I really don't believe so.
Nope. Yep. So it all worked out. It couldn't have been a better night. The weather was perfect. Just everything. And even in the drivers' meeting, when we have the drivers' meeting before the event, and you're talking about what's going on and stuff, and the guys, they're very excited to be there, and what can we do to help? Do you need help here? Do you need help there? They want to make sure it goes, and they want to make sure it's a success every year.
Yeah. And another thing, Greg, is the timing of that event, as far as in the pulling world, is probably about the best it can be, because it's early in the season,
Yep.
and everybody's ready to go yet. Everybody's amped up, and of course it's for a wonderful cause, and that gets everybody going too. But you try doing that late in August after everybody's all beat down after running up and down the road all summer, and your result might be just a smidgen bit different,
Yep. Everybody's hungry for that first big event. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to brag it up as the best session of tractor pulling in the United States.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere to watch what went on there for $15.
That's true. Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah.
And I'll defend that against anybody.
Yeah.
What they've got going on. 120 hooks or whatever we had. I don't even know what it was, but that's around what it usually is.
Yeah.
And for $15 to go there, and there's there's a tractor going down the track every minute and a half.
Yeah. We started at 6 and we were done at 11. So, we had a little downtime for the Calcutta and stuff. I don't know what all that took. Maybe 45 minutes at the most. I didn't check.
It was almost an hour.
Was it really? I didn't
time?
check my mouse on it.
Yep. It was almost an hour, and it is. You had 15 tractors to auction off, and if you spent 3, our goal was 2 minutes a tractor, but it was probably 3. So that's 45 minutes for 14 tractors.
Yeah.
Times 3 minutes, and then get them on the track and get them off the track. It was an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it went fast because there was something going on the whole time. We kind of tried to sneak them in quietly while the family was talking, and then tried to it seems rude to pull them in there when they're talking about how we got to keep stuff moving, right?
Yeah.
Worked out good though, because we faced them to the camera, so you're bringing tractors in there still on the big screen. Everybody can see them. Lori, she is the ultimate. She's so much fun, and she's so amped up at that event too. And she had another huge event that she was at Friday, but she does love Badger State. She does love that event. I think it is her favorite event. And the other thing too, we announced at the drivers' meeting, go over to the winner's circle for TV. If you were the winner, get over there right away. And everybody did. Everybody was. They beat me over there. By the time I got an announcer stand and got over there, they were already there.
Yeah,
and that's good. And that's the first time all the pullers followed instructions, right?
probably pretty much. And that's another thing. Ryan he's our superhero on all of our
Yes.
technology stuff. But having John and Christy stop by on our way to Seymour and brought a bunch of more cameras and a little more technology with us, and and live streamed it out on Pro Pulling TV. I mean, that's all good stuff. That's
Yep. John Mears was in disbelief of the money we raised at the Calcutta. He says, I'm gonna show that and show people how to do that. And I said, it takes a while to get it built to what we did. It did. I remember the first year you got $12,000, $15,000, went to $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000.
Did you advise him to get a professional auctioneer though? That'd be better. Yeah.
Yep. No. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work at the Gavin Brothers too, because they know all the people. I've worked on them, but they always have an auction on this day. Every time I ask, they'd love to do it, but they're busy. I don't know. I'm gonna work a little harder on them. They're local guys, so they know all the people to pimp, right?
I think Mears is just gonna fly Stacy in because he did such a good job.
Yep. That's why you lost your voice.
Yeah, I
You
couldn't
did a
talk
great
after
job,
that.
Felicia. I'm not saying anything about that. That's a job that I couldn't do. I'm not going to do it.
That's hard. Yeah. You're
It is. It's hard.
better than me.
Yeah.
Well, how about we just send you to auctioneer school? Why don't we
Yeah.
just send Stacy to auctioneer school?
Yeah.
You can make a little side money, Butson.
Yeah. I can only
Yep.
make so much. Otherwise, I got to give half of it back. I learned that a couple years ago.
But once you're what, 65, 7 or something, you can make as much as you can then after that.
Yeah,
You work for so many years.
Yeah, 67. I got a little ways to go yet before I get to that point. And by the time I'm there, I don't want to work too much anymore, to be honest with you.
But you're going to be an auctioneer.
I
Yeah.
got the pretty name too. Cash is king, auctioneer service.
Yeah. I tell you, another big thing up there was the meal that the pickled pork cookers put on up there. That was phenomenal. Also, and I don't know how that all gets paid for, but they put on a tremendous spread for all the pullers and the help up there, and they do it with a smile. They're a very enjoyable bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They raise that money themselves for it.
Right.
Them guys all pay for it themselves.
Unbelievable.
That was
Yep.
amazing. Yeah.
And they
That
they do it because they want to be there.
They want to do it and be part of it. And Mark Shainoff is I don't know if he's the guy. Mark and Mitch Shainoff are the guys that maybe kind of head it. I'm not sure. They're the ones that are always there, and I don't know. If I would say that, I'm lying if I know, but and there's a bunch of them and they enjoy doing it. They love doing it.
Oh, they do a fabulous job. It's amazing, yeah. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't know how that all worked, but that even makes it more amazing, really.
Yep. And then the Baraboo Bluffs ATV Club or UTV Club, they help serve all the food and help with all the parking, and they come and donate. At our banquet, they'll donate money there too, and the Fair Board, the Sauk County Fair Board, for all the stuff they do. They sell all the beer. Get the grandstands ready, build the track. I mean, it's all come together so well when we moved up there. We used to do it in Sauk here. I could only have half the classes. We had one track and had to be done by a certain time. Up there, it's so good to work with them people. I'm going to tell you that, we've been doing this since Mason was 1 year old. He's 25. So we've been doing it 24 years, I'm guessing.
Wow.
So next year, I think I'm just gonna maybe say next year's our 25th.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Amazing.
And the other great thing is we will go over $1 million to the Children's Hospital in Madison, UW Children's Hospital this year for sure. I guarantee it's going to make it. Yep.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
And it is. And it was the first, 12, 14, 15 years we did St. Jude,
Yep.
and then just most of the guys said, hey, we want to do more local. I always thought, because guys from Illinois might not want to do the UW Children's Hospital and all that, but, Ed Casper's the one that told me. He said, hey, everybody from around here goes to UW anyways. Let's just do it there.
Yeah.
And we switched it. And we get all kinds of great support from them. Lori's there. She's great to work with. John, you've been to the radiothon with them and talked and everything. It's just a great bunch of people to deal with.
Yeah, Lori's a terrific liaison for the children's hospital. Her enthusiasm for what she does is infectious. I mean, she really goes. Yep. She really loves what she does. That's for sure.
She does. Yeah, it's not work. And her counterpart that works side by side with her, I got to meet her at the radiothon, and while I was kind of sitting in the waiting there, as they had a family on talking to a family before I went on the radio shows, how much that she does there that a lot of people don't know either. And her counterpart says it's hard to keep up, and I don't know how she does it. She's like a machine. She said she just goes, and then she talks with so many people. She said I couldn't talk to that many people like that. And,
and remember everybody.
Yeah, and the people that come through here in 3 days, and that radiothon, they work like 13 hours a day for that radiothon. And when I was there, we got a $5,000 donation over the radio when I was there. So that was cool. We here Badger State's on, and next thing you know, there's a $5,000 donation. So that was pretty cool. But
in Badger State's name or whatever.
I don't know because it was we were on or the radiothon or what, but
yeah,
we come back down. She told us, yep, we just had a $5,000 donor come on, listen to you guys on the radio. So that was cool. Yeah. Yep. She said next year she wants to keep me there for the day, I guess. So I said, I'm game. Whatever works.
Yep.
I don't care.
Well, it's fun. It's fun, and you meet all the big donors and all that, and it means a lot. The stories from the kids there. Honestly, this is how it started. Danny Fry and I were sitting someplace, the late Danny Fry, and we said, and we're listening to the telethon, and we said, Jesus, we should do something here. And we were just both, like, why don't we do so? Let's just put a tractor pull on. And it started out that each class that wanted to participate had to raise their own purse. And then the profits, we made like $5,000 that first year, and that was great, right? And after 3 or 4 years, Randy Brew is one that said, hey, why don't we just go pull for nothing instead of trying to raise our own purse all the time? Just go do it for nothing, and it is what it is. And it's rocketed since then. Yeah. It really has.
Last few years really seemed like someone's turned the wick up. And I don't know if it's just injection pumps or what, but man, the whole program has grabbed another gear and went further.
Yeah, I think that points directly at the change of location, because we'd outgrown Sauk for the most part. Yep. And when we changed location over to Baraboo, it's just like it opened it up to just blow up and double in size and just take right off.
Right. Yeah. Right. I agree 100%. Yep. But even this is the first year we had good weather. Yeah. I mean, we fought rain the last 3 years and it was still packed.
Yeah, we're grinding, dumping out ground up trees last year, weren't we?
Yeah, we were hauling in mulch so we could drive around the pits.
Yeah. It wasn't mulch, it was ground up trees.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, we were loading it here in Sauk and hauling it up there with our silage trucks and made it go. It was great. Whatever it takes to make it go. If we can do a little bit more to make it happen, it works.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Last week we told everybody we're going to have Fry's Fair Valley performance on this week, but we didn't get time to get it edited with this busy weekend and all that. So next couple weeks, I don't know if we're gonna do it in 2, 3, or 4 episodes the first half hour, and we'll either after that we'll talk to the previous event or the upcoming events we'll talk about. So we've got a lot going on here in the next month here.
We got a break coming up in a couple of weeks. I imagine next week we'll be talking about the Mackville Nationals quite a bit.
Yep, and then we'll have Chopir after that, right? Yep, Chopir is week after that, and we should have all kinds of good footage from all that, right? So,
yeah.
The cool part about our show too is the people this last week, some of them I've seen that just always set aside time to watch our show. So we can't thank them enough to come and watch us every Monday night too. So thank you.
Yep. All right. I didn't go through our sponsors at the beginning, John, so you make sure you hit them hard at the end here.
Salama Enterprises, Wet and Camp Transport. We got
Front Street.
I lost my list.
Front Street Toys.
Front Street Toys.
Castor
Egg. And we got Trip Downing. Greg Tripp.
Yep.
You know
Yep.
Tripp.
Trip, not Chip. Trip.
Not Chip. Tripp, yeah.
Yep.
That help us out. So thank you to all of our sponsors that help out. Thank you to Ryan Zolik. We couldn't do this without Ryan. Ryan does an excellent job with this and helps with all the editing, and he helps so much with all IT stuff. So thank you, Ryan.
Yep. Thank you, Ryan. Yep. So.
Well, you guys
Perfect.
have a safe weekend up there. Enjoy yourselves. All you fans that are going up to Mackville, Seymour, just like who was it that said on our comments there? We see more butts in the stands there.
Right.
I think it was Alan
Let's hope we do. Yep. You're going to be watching this on live stream, aren't you, John?
Yeah,
you're working.
I'll be home watching live stream and hoping that this little thing here doesn't go off.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to
That would involve this.
Them guys are, like I said when we had Roger on, pretty easy to walk away when you kind of get kicked down like that and say, we've been doing this for how many years? That's good. We're good. For them guys to take the initiative and move it up the road, and they're hoping for bigger and better things. And by golly, I'm hoping the enthusiasm from Mackville town itself moves itself 18 miles up the road, and it grabs traction, and away we go for another 50 years or whatever it's going to be.
Right. I hope they have the same luck we did moving the benefit pole from Sauk to Baraboo.
That's true.
Same
That's
thing.
true.
It's 18 miles.
Yep. I was just going to say about same distance, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I hope it goes over big. Getting a little more urban population up there too should help us, draw some people in too. But he's like, the support that he's got up there sounds amazing. A lot of times it's like, oh, geez, you guys are going to do what? That's not what he's getting.
Nope. He's got it.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool.
All right.
Good. So everybody, safe travels. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you all next week.
Thank you, Ryan, Jay, John, Stacy. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
See you, boys. Thanks,
We'll
Ryan.
see you next week.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
Yep.
Night.
Goodbye.
That went pretty good.